Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Kiem Circle podcast. This is your host, Jessa Francis. I am really excited today because I am welcoming a new guest. And I think we're going to have an amazing conversation. We're going to be diving into more untoxicated today, more of the mindful drinking world. And so my guest today is the beautiful Deryn Russell. So Deryn is the CEO and co-founder of this amazing new innovative app called Delightful. Delightful is focused on helping people in a variety of different ways when it comes to this mindful drinking. We've got community, we've got alcohol-free product discovery, and also this ability to find more like-minded people, like that community part, which is so huge. And then not only finding the right products, which are tools to help us, right? But helping us know what we're gonna like. It's crazy that this whole space has blown up so much, and there's actually so much out there that people are feeling a little overwhelmed. And so this app helps with all of its ratings and all of the things, all the information and intel that you need to know whether or not, this product is the right one. Some of these things are not cheap, right? So we want to find the right thing. So along with Deryn, she has a co-founder who is not with us today, but maybe we'll get to talk to him in the future. Prashanth Selvam, he is the CEO of Delightful. They both have this passion, and this is a passion project. They're creating all kinds of different inclusive social experiences. They've developed this app, which is a platform where people can enjoy these products in these places, where you can actually go and enjoy these in real time and get to enjoy these with other people. And so whether you're taking a night off or you're just not drinking at all, sober curious, completely abstinent, wherever you're at, this is a really great go-to resource for exploring the quality non-alcoholic options, offering curated lists, trusted reviews, and like I said, that vibrant community. So Deryn, thank you for being with me today. I kind of go back and forth on this podcast and in my Substack, as you well know, between this balancing of mindful thinking, mindful living, holistic living, and then I put on like my intoxicated hat and I'm like, I step into this particular role. And every time I do, I'm filled up with light, because the people in this space, the people like you in this space we're here and we're doing this with our whole heart. Like, this is love, and it's such a wonderful space to be in. So thank you for being here. I'm really excited to share you with the readers and to hear about your story and your why behind all of the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you so much for having me and for that awesome introduction. I can completely echo that. I feel like I've worked in a few different spaces in my life and career, and nothing compares to NA. I just feel like people are so thoughtful and so warm and so kind and so welcoming. And it's been, starting a business is freaking hard. And I think working with good people in the space makes it a lot easier. So it's been lovely.
Yeah, like I literally, like, just talking about how hard it is, I had to take a breath, because I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's like this, and I'm constantly reminding myself of the ebb and flow of life in general, but there is like this, starting up a company and starting up your own business, you start feeling bipolar because it's like I'm having these super ultra highs and then these low dark lows. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How is this going to work? And fighting off those fears. And then also, like letting yourself celebrate and enjoy the highs. So I have found, like, you have to have a very strong why. You have to live in that why. And so I want to know your why.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few different things. Thank you for the amazing intro to Delightful. So what Delightful is it's an app that helps you find, rate, and review non-alcoholic beverages and places that really serve them, that kind of treat that experience with respect. But we think about Delightful as a lot bigger than that. It really is your home for exploration and discovery in the NA world. So whether that's product discovery, whether it's engaging with the community and reading trusted reviews, saving what you like when you discover something awesome, maybe bitter is your flavor, whatever it might be, and really doing that kind of NA exploration. And for the why and kind of how we got into it, so Prashanth and I both grew up with parents who didn't drink. My dad never drank. And so I was familiar with the NA world, but he pretty much had one option at our holiday gatherings, and it wasn't very good. So I think what we've come to now, where there are tons of NA options in the market, is really, really amazing. Like, it's pretty beautiful, but it can also be kind of hard to navigate. And so what I found is that I'm a social person. I'm a ritualistic person. Like, I don't want to give any of that up when I'm not drinking. I still want to have those experiences, and I want to be able to know what's good. So I live in New York. I was at the corner store. I was looking at the case of NA beer, and there were 7 different options in there, which is awesome. But I didn't know which was going to be any good. And kind of like you mentioned, they could be pretty expensive. So I would Google it, maybe read a few articles, but it felt like that was pay to play in a lot of the articles. And there's actually a ton of awesome information on Facebook and on Reddit, but that gets lost in the scroll as you go through it. So we really wanted to make a home for NA where people could have that exploration, where they could have that community. And it was really devoted to it, and it didn't disappear. And I think as well, when we talk about the why and living in it, is that that kind of space and respect exists a lot already in the alcoholic market. So there's Vivino for wine, there's Untapped for beer, and there wasn't really anything that felt like it was fitting the same need in NA. And we were really excited about creating that and sharing that with this community.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to come for me, to hear the perspective of somebody who didn't grow up with alcohol, swallowing their life, because so many of us in this space, like they're coming from this, life where alcohol was kind of like this ugly monster living in the closet. And I think it's a beautiful thing and a refreshing thing that you are coming from a space where you just notice that you went from not having options to having all of these options, and realizing that there was a need, right, to help people understand this. And it's so true, because I have my Substack that I have been writing, and I started up Untoxicated because I wanted to educate, because I was working at Sachet, where I was having these people come in and they thought it was an alcohol like liquor store because of all the bottles and beers and everything, and then they'd find out that it was non-alcoholic, and they were blown away because there were just shelves and shelves and shelves of product. And where do you begin? Like, I had all these mixologists and bartenders and bar managers are like, I'd find them like staring at the shelves, just like lost, like, where do I even start here? And having something to help you navigate. And I also love that you pointed out, the fact that you're ritualistic, right? Because what we want is just that drink in our hand, and it changes everything. It elevates the entire experience of what we're doing. And so I love that you pointed that out, because it's such an important thing. Um, so I'm curious, like, what are your favorite products?
Oh my gosh, I'm like, what are the things that just live? My bar card is like in my living room over here, and the things that are living in there all the time. Um, so when I think about the ritual, like I love an evening cocktail, and for me, it's an NA cocktail. So Three Spirit, their nightcap, that with like an orange slice in it just feels to me like an adult old fashioned, but it has functional ingredients in it that are going to make me sleep better and make me feel better. And so I have that experience that I hold so dear. And also I'm doing like kind things for my body and liver. So I absolutely love Three Spirit. I always have kin in my fridge. I'm newly obsessed with Gia. I'm loving the like bitter gingery flavor. Philia. Philia poured over ice with some sparkling water is going to be my drink of the summer, I think. And then I actually recently tried the Liars Negroni Spagliato, which is, I don't know if you've seen that meme from, do you watch House of Dragons?
I just started the first episode.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
send it to you after this. The person who plays the main woman in it has like this incredible meme where she talks about how her favorite drink is Negroni Spagliato, and so Liars has an NA version of that that we just recently made at the Delightful event with an orange slice, and that was really nice. So those are some of my favorites that I pretty much always have, always reach for, and then Athletic is just my go-to beer. You know, it's so classic. It's so good.
Oh, absolutely. You and I have very similar palates. I'll tell you
Mm.
right now. We both love like that bitteriness. Like when I was like drinking all the time, I was like old fashioned Negronis. Like I wanted something that was going to slow me down when I was sipping, but that it was also going to be like, in my mind at that time, like worth the calories, that I was going to have
Mm-hmm.
like biggest bang for my punch, right? And so I can tell you're also like focusing on those functional ingredients, and even the ones that like Gia and Philia, like they're not classified as functional, they absolutely have functional benefits because of the healthier, ginger,
Yeah.
lemon balm, like boom, you're it's going to be good for your body. And I think that's like one of my favorite things about this is, I remember when my kids were young, I would say, man, I wish I could bottle up their energy. I wish I could bottle up like
Oh
all
my
of
gosh.
their excitement and love. And now I feel like they have with these NA products. And it's like we get to own that. I guess you don't have to, like, I guess you could separate functional out, but the NA world, this mindful drinking, alcohol free movement, like functionality is so important to us because it helps us really. I think I used to, I remember I would explain the functional drinks as like that stepping stone towards sobriety, because
Mm.
somebody who is, not quite sure they want to give up alcohol, they would step into this functional realm where they're like, well, at least I'm getting something. But for me, it's like I really want to put healthy, good things in my body. This is my vessel,
Yeah.
like, and as you will know, with starting up a company, you need your brain to be firing on on all cylinders, right? And so if there's something like reishi mushroom and lion's mane mushroom and these things that are like nootropics that are going to actually help your brain, yes, please. So yeah, that's very cool. No, I I think I was one of the first people that I got to talk to you guys when you were first like kind of beta testing the app.
I honestly could not thank you enough, Jessica. Like, I feel like every time I talk to you, I was telling some people last night that I was going to be on this podcast today. And I was like, you don't understand. She's like the encyclopedia of NA. This woman knows everything. All I want to do is work with her. Like, you truly, truly are the expert. And when you're right, when we were starting out, I knew NA and I thought I knew NA, but I had no idea the depth of products that fully existed. And I was particularly intrigued by and out of the loop on functional beverages. So I listened to your episode with Mocktail Mom where you were breaking down, adaptogenic versus nootropic and all the different ingredients and how much that matters. And then you made the mistake of offering a free consultation to anyone who reached out. And so I was like, there's no way I can't talk to her. I have to do that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm so glad you did. Like, because just like I was telling Mocktail Mom, like, I love this stuff. Like, I love talking about it. I love sharing. I love educating. And it's so wild to me now because I didn't, I didn't seek this out. Like, sachet and the whole non-alcoholic world kind of just like the universe brought it to me, and now it's like a huge part of who I am. And I remember like just waking up one morning and thinking about it, and I was like, because I was like trying to title myself like alcohol-free beverage consultant, alcohol-free beverage expert, and I was like, wait a minute, what? I'm an
Yeah.
alcohol-free beverage expert?
Yeah, you are.
And yeah, no, I love helping people find the right product, but I can't do it all. Like my one-off little consultations here and there, like they're not gonna help people in mass. And that's what's so exciting about your app is it's gonna help so many people like in an easy and like simplified way, right? Yes, if you are lost and you don't know where to begin, I was like, yeah, come on, talk to me. Like, do you like sweet? Do you like sour? Do you want functional? Do you want like this particular effect? What it is that you're after? And I'll point you in the right direction. But you have made that into an app, which I'm like, oh, okay, people.
If we could
Go
get
to
Jess's
Delightful.
brain in the app, that's what I really need. But yeah, I think you hit a lot on what we're trying to do. We're like at our core, community is at the heart of what we do on Delightful, and there's so many different things that bring people to the NA space. Like I really don't think it's binary more anymore. I don't think it's do you drink or are you sober. There are people who fall into both of those categories, but there's a huge spectrum in between, and people come for so many different reasons. It can be physical health, it can be mental health. Maybe it doesn't mix well with medication. Maybe you're trying to get pregnant. Maybe you are going to drink tonight and you just want a pacer in between your cocktails, or you're doing dry January. There's just so many things that brings people in, way more than alcohol. That's kind of like now you start drinking. And so really giving a space to help people navigate that. And we think that we found that there are a few different kinds of users of Delightful. So people who are really new to the space, how we wanted to help is with that product discovery. Like there is just a wealth of NA products out there. And I think people don't even realize how much it exists. Like my dad is a really good example. He's in his 70s, had like one or two things his whole entire life. Before I made Delightful, he told me he didn't think it would be useful. And now he uses it all the time. And his favorite drink is the Oddbird Sparkling Rosé, which like there is no way he would have ever had that if something like this hadn't existed for exploration. So there are people who are new, and I think product discovery is really helpful there. And then there are people like you who are absolute experts in the space, right? You know what you like. And so what we want to facilitate is a home for you to keep track of all that good stuff. Like it's not a shopping cart over here and then your notes app over here and maybe your journal here, but being able to make lists of what you like in one consolidated resource. And we're working on things to be able to help you better connect with your community and be able to share that more easily. So they're kind of people who are new, people who are experts, are closer to experts. And then we also think there's a really cool opportunity for brands because we know that people are hungry for trying new NA products. Like I personally manage our catalog. We have thousands of products in it, and we had so many every single day because so much stuff comes out. Um, so people want to find new stuff. And as a brand, particularly a small brand, it can be really hard to get in front of people. Like there are really big barriers to entry to be on a shelf in Whole Foods. And so I think what we can do with Delightful is facilitate a platform for people interested in the same things to connect and really help uplift everyone.
I adore you for that. Like just that, because so when Untoxicated got started, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? There's all these products, I've got to narrow it down. And what I wanted to do was educate. So I was like, all right, I'm going to create a portfolio of products from every category. And you think, oh, okay, beer, wine, spirits, functional. But it's so much more than that, right? So just within spirits, you've got like these one for one replacements, and then you have more botanical alternatives. And then you've got, rums, tequilas, whiskeys, and all of that. And then you've got aperitifs, and that opens up a whole nother like door to this world of aperitifs, which are actually really, really big in NA, right? And so anyhow, I was like, I was basically making the categories for this portfolio, which is like, okay, I'm going to have this one for one replacement, and I'm going to have this botanical, I'm going to have this aperitif, but oh, you know what? I need something that would be fruity and floral. I need something that's going to be bitter, and like, so that I can truly educate. And and then I had the beer, the et cetera, which of course then you can go into pilsners and lagers and stouts and sours. But anyhow, I was like, all right, now I have to not so selfishly decide what it is that I want to share, right? Which products am I going to choose? And of course, I was the director of brand partnerships. I had these amazing relationships with these brands. And so not only did I know what tasted really well, what mixed really well, what sold really well in the bottle shop, but usually, and I'm just going to say it, but the stuff that had all the money, the stuff that had all of the exposure was not the best stuff. Like there's just like such amazing quality products out there, but they're small little companies that didn't have the exposure. And I was like, I'm going to get these guys out there. I'm going to get these on premise. I'm going to put these into the world. And so I love that your app also is like, gives them that ability to get visibility, and that's all of our goal, right? Like, all right, I started up this Untoxicated company. All right, I started up this app. Now I need people to know about it. I started up this alcohol-free beverage company. Now I need people to know about it. And that's how beautiful this space is, because we're all in it together. We're all like doing it from the heart. And yeah, so I I'm definitely going to be like pushing everybody your way, because
we love that. Yeah, no, it's I think it is a really cool opportunity. I think that there are so many small producers making really excellent products, and finding a way to get that in front of people who want to find those products, who are looking for those flavors. I feel like just makes so much sense. And it can be so hard. And so how can we make that easier? Like Tilden, for example, I'm sure you've tried them. Like, I think that their products are amazing. It's two women who started it. It's a very small shop, and like they're one of our like delightful picks on the app. So you see them front and center. So we try to highlight things that we think that we believe in. So it has to actually be good. And that gives it a unique platform that they might not otherwise have. And I think you made a good point earlier that I just want to give a shout out to. one of the things that I love about Delightful, and obviously I'm biased, is we really try to make it simple and easy to use and easy to navigate. And our designer, Dina Edwards, is just fantastic. Like I wish you could see what it could have looked like when we first started and what it looks like now. And so I think people in the NA space and then just knowing like wonderful, talented people who are willing to give their time has been a godsend in trying to start something with no money. And because we just honestly, we just want to make something that people want to use. So all the people who've been like kind and generous with their time has been really helpful.
Oh, yes. I can't tell you how wonderful it has been to find people that have helped me along the way, that continue to help me along the way, and that's like I want to pay it forward as much
Yeah.
as possible. And you know what? Let's just take a minute right now, because you brought up Tilden being female founded, and I don't think that it is shouted at the rooftops quite enough that you're a female founder. I'm a female founder. I mean, I bet you, if I looked at a graph, if I made like a pie chart of all of the alcohol free, not just the alcohol free products, but the alcohol free bottle shops and all of these businesses that are coming out in this space are female founded. This is a female dominated and led space. And because of that, I think that is one of the reasons it's so warm and inviting, and like you get this feeling of being like nurtured and loved. And I love that part of it.
Yeah. It truly, and honestly, I mean, you made the point that we connected when we were in beta. We were trying to make sure, like, does anybody actually want this? Really trying to validate that. And I just reached out to everybody. It was like, anyone who will talk to me, I would like to talk to you. And so many people did it. Like, so many people got on a call with me or had a quick chat, and maybe they didn't have an hour, maybe they only had 15 minutes, but they were willing to do it. And it's just, I have never experienced anything like that where people are truly so giving of their time in a kind way. Maybe because people are thinking about wellness, maybe because a lot of them are sober, whatever the reason might be, and or it's a female-led space. But it's just, it has been really welcoming and really nurturing, and that is, we're lucky. I feel very lucky.
Yeah, gratitude, like for sure, for so many things. And I feel like just like a lot of these products were COVID babies. When did
Mm.
this project first come forward in your mind?
So Prashanth and I started building this at the end of last year, 2023. And I should say, I use that term loosely, like we started building it. He absolutely builds everything and is an exceptional CTO and engineer and builds things so fast it blows my mind. So I'm lucky there also. Just a lot of luck here. Um, but we had originally come together thinking about building something else. Actually, I have a huge passion for travel. I travel a lot. We had started talking about, do we want to make a travel something? And we paused and we're like, before we get too deep into this, let's throw every idea on the board. And Delightful was up there. It wasn't called Delightful then, but basically like thinking about vino for the NA space. And that's how we started thinking about it, because it really resonated strongly with both of us. And then it was pretty much a sprint to see what we could get out in time for dry January, because that's just like the Olympics of NA. So it came out in the middle of January, and we've seen some good continued traction since then, which has been really validating and really exciting. And it's hard to come out with something new, but every time people use it who like aren't me or people I know, I feel excited and feel good about that. So yeah, that's how it came to be.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love, finding out people's whys, finding out like the hows, like the stepping stones of like building a business, and why you would ever want to do that in the first place. Like I had like 1,000 whys, trying to own my time and have freedom, and then do something that I knew was going to positively impact the world, right? And so that's what is so beautiful about what you're doing is, and it's going to be so much easier. And I think that's where the luck comes in. Like when we're doing things with our heart, that love comes back to us, and we call it luck, but it's love. Like we're putting love out and we're getting it back in. And so just keep doing that, just keep moving forward. I cannot wait to see what comes next. Do you have any like big goals for this year? Like what do you see happening? What in 3 years
Oh my
time,
gosh.
where do you want to be?
So many goals, so many things that we're working on that we're really excited about. And we're still in the phase. I mean, we're not really focused on revenue and monetization at this point. Like what we're trying to do is build something that people like, that they actually want to use. If you're in any of our communication, like anytime someone, flags a missing product, like I add it and I email them personally and I always ask like, let me know if there's something you want to see in the app that's not there because we want to build something that you want to use. So we're
Yeah.
really, really focused on community and that user feedback. We both have full-time jobs and do this additionally. So free time is not something that we have at all. I feel like I in some ways don't own my own time, but whenever I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed and I'm like, I have seen midnight too many times this week, I remind myself that like, this is my choice to be spending time on this. And there's no way that I wouldn't be spending time on this. Like when I think about, could I drop this? There's no way. There's no way. So it's demanding, but it's the right thing and it should exist. And I really, really believe in it and our community. So that I think is helpful motivation. A lot of the things that we have planned. So we think about at our core, we started with answering the user goal of what's good. So the no and low market was at 8 billion in 2018 and it was at 11 billion in 2022. So it's just growing rapidly and it can be really hard to navigate a new space. So we wanted to start by helping people do that. And what we've evolved into is a lot more discovery, exploration, personalization, sharing. So a lot of those things will be coming soon. And then what we call the places side of it as well. So I want to go out to dinner or drinks with a friend and I want to go somewhere that treats that with respect and makes a legitimate NA cocktail and isn't going to tell me that they have, soda when I ask if they have a non-alcoholic option. So being able to find those places as well. So those are some of the big things. But what we really see Delightful as is your home for everything NA, for education, for product discovery, for events, for places, being your centralized resource that you can have, as and when you need it.
I love it. Yeah, no, the finding where to go to be able to drink it is I love that because so often there's still, even though this is a billion-dollar industry, that's still, like you show up and there's a Heineken Zero and that's it, which I mean, I'm grateful that there's that. And I always have all the bitters in my purse.
Yeah.
But I really do like keys, wallet, phone, all the bitters.
Well, yeah. And it makes total sense. Like I have emailed and gone to and talked to like a million restaurants to understand like how they think about this program and what products they have. And you can feel it, right? Like when I go into a restaurant, like I went to one last night and they had 4 NA cocktails and 2 NA beers. And I was like, I trust you to do a good job. And I have been to another restaurant down the street and I asked them if they had NA options. And the bartender was like, I could make you something. And I was like, I just don't trust you. I don't trust you to make me something that is adult and complex and real and not full of sugar. Like, I think that there's knowing where you can go and because so much of our content is community driven, it's constantly evolving, which I love. So you'll be able to give feedback on what you tried. Did you like it? Is this restaurant, doing justice? Because it's not just having something on the menu. I think we can go beyond that to having something quality on the menu.
Yes. Yes. And yes, do that like so many times, especially like once again, back to our palates where we're like, the philia drinkers, the Gia drinkers, where it's like, I want something bold. I do not want your soda water with juice and like
Yeah.
1,000 garnishes.
Yeah. No maraschino cherries. Actually, the NA cocktail I got last night did come with a maraschino cherry in it, and I was like, "You're slightly diluting this experience for me."
Like I love garnishes for sure, but it's just like sometimes, well, all the time, like I'm getting this drink to drink it, not to eat
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And I think something that you have helped so many people with that I think we find a lot with Delightful as well is people are really looking for guidance. Like, I think they're either new to this category or even if they're familiar with it, they want help exploring or how do I make NA cocktail. Even if they've been making alcoholic cocktails for 20 years, when it becomes NA, there's a lot of hesitation. And so we think about that a lot. We say, drinking is supposed to be fun, and we take that very seriously. But like all jokes aside, we have a pretty extensive catalog, and we try to add in those kind of guided notes around how we drink it, flavor profiles, and then you can see how other people feel about it, what they experienced. If you leave a review, you can add your own flavors. And so kind of being that guiding home to help people explore the space as well with a helping hand.
I love it. Yeah. No, I just think that that's wonderful, and I can't wait to see how it grows. I can't wait to help you in any way that I can. If I can, any help you guys need, any articles, any whatever, that I'm a fan, I'm a supporter. I will be backing you this and the whole way. So, but yeah, no, I'm just excited to see what happens next. And um, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to thank you again for being here. This has been really fun. I always enjoy talking to you. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Yeah, no, this flew by, Jessa. Thank you so much. This is great. Like, this has been lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I, as I go and grow forward with everything, I could see us doing some fun events in the future. I'm diving into sober retreats. I'm actually hosting my first. I'm not hosting, but I'm participating in one coming up at the end of July. And I was thinking, like, there's so many different ways we could collaborate, because I want to be able to pass out this education, and because I do a lot of conscious cocktail classes and mimosas and meditations, and like always having something to give away. And I would love to have your like a QR code and your information on the things that I give away, so that people have like an immediate resource that
Yeah.
opens up this world. Like yesterday, I had this crazy big event with the American Heart and Stroke Association, and I had Bravas and Parch, and I was just educating, like, there's not only really good beer, but there's functional drinks, right? And it's like, this is a margarita, people, like, and we're in San Antonio right now, so it's like, oh wow, a functional margarita, what is that? People are so curious. And then I'm like, yeah, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, people. And to have like your QR code or something like that, where I can just immediately pass it out at all of my events, that's something we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone listening, this is what it's like to work in NA. Is like you meet wonderful people who are like, "How can I help you?" Which is great. And I have a couple of concrete ideas, so we should chat after this. There's a few programs we're running that I think would fit really well with that.
Yes, absolutely. No, and you're exactly right. Like, how do we support each other? How do we make this grow?
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for opportunities for a joyful lifestyle, step into the world of NA if you're not already, because it is a beautiful space. It is, like I said, warm and loving, and yeah, filled with like crazy amounts of gratitude. So Thank you for everybody who has been here with us today. I appreciate you listening and learning with us. Please download the Delightful app. I am going to share the links and all of the things that you would need to find out more to get this app on your phone so that you have this resource in your pocket at all times. It is an amazing thing and a wonderful tool to help you not only know the product, and find people that are in this with you, because you are not alone. And within the Kayam circle, you are always seen, you are always heard, and you are always loved. And I appreciate you, and I will see you next week.